In today's video, I'm going to build an entire overseas team on my iPad, and I'm just going to illustrate it, talk you guys through it. So if you are a business owner and you want to build a team that comprises of a lot of overseas talent, this is going to be a very helpful video. Now, just a little bit about who I am. My name is Charlie. I have, I think, over 60, 70 people on my team who are overseas. And so, yeah, I've spent the last 4 or 5 years building businesses with a lot of overseas talent. I also own an overseas recruiting agency. And yeah, there's a bunch of different ways, of course, you can build an overseas team, but I'm going to break it down into 5 different departments. We'll talk about what countries are the best for each of these departments, my advice, my tips, strategies, things to avoid. And yeah, we'll also talk about how you guys can communicate with them, how to pay them, and stuff like that. So, of course, the biggest question is like, what countries should I hire in? Now, of course, that's a loaded question. It's really going to depend, but I do have some definite like favorites that I've experienced over the last 5, 6 years hiring overseas. And yeah, for each of these departments, I'll talk about which country I think you guys should hire from. So let's talk about the first department, which is going to be your EA/VA. Now, this isn't really like a department, but it is a role that I think almost every business owner should have. And yeah, for an EA, executive assistant, VA, virtual assistant, they're going to basically help you with a lot of more mundane tasks, help you free up your time and schedule, take care of a lot of different things that would, stress you out and stuff like that, so that you can really focus on building your business, which is what you do the best. So in terms of where to find someone for your EA or VA, I would recommend Indonesia. So if you're not too familiar with Indonesia, it actually is one of the largest, most populated countries in the world. The workforce here is really great. I've had such good experiences with Indonesia that is where we basically based my recruiting company, right? A huge percentage of my team is from Indonesia. It is the up and coming Philippines. They are a little bit more affordable, but still very smart, very loyal, very dedicated, very skilled at what they do. So super like slept on country to hire from. I think EAs and VAs, we've hired a lot of people from Indonesia for our clients. And yeah, we found some amazing people. You can probably get someone in Indonesia full time, so 40 hours per week, that has experience for, I would say, 700 to $2,000 per month. So that's full time, right? $700 per month full time equates to like what, $3, $4 per hour. So really the value is there. And these are like the just the cost of living there is so much lower. So that's why it makes sense. So I would hire someone for EA/VA position in Indonesia. Of course, there's also places like Latin America. So right, like Brazil, Mexico, Argentina. If you are in the US and you need someone that is working same time zone as you, then Latam is a really great place because it's essentially US hours plus or minus like 0 to 5. Um, it's another great place. A little bit more expensive than Indonesia. I'd say probably 20 to 30% more. More. But of course, that time zone being a lot closer to the US, that can be a huge advantage for a lot of people. Next department is going to be marketing. So I'm going to group this into like creative stuff. So, right, we'll talk video editors. Let's say web design, graphic design, excuse my really bad handwriting. And marketing is also, of course, extremely important for any business. And pretty much every single person on my marketing team, like in these types of positions, is from Indonesia. Indonesia has really great creative talent. So creative talent, Indonesia, Indo. Um, and in terms of what you can expect to pay, I'd probably be paying 800 to 1.5K per month for any of these roles right here. So I'd build out basically a whole team of video editors, depending on what type of business you have. If you're making a lot of content, of course, video editors. If you have websites and stuff like that, web design. My web design team, they're all in Indonesia. They're amazing. Graphic design, tons and tons of really amazing talent in Indo there. So whatever marketing positions you want, I would just hire them there. Next is going to be sales. So sales is a little bit different because it sort of depends what type of sales you need, right? If it's going to be a lot of person-to-person contact, I would actually recommend going with South Africa. So South Africa has a drastically lower cost of living than what many of us would probably assume. You can hire really great sales talent for, I want to say 1.5 to 3 or 4K per month. And so that's at least 50 to 70% cheaper than the US. The reason why I like South Africa for sales is because they're English. The South African accent it sounds very much like a British accent in my opinion. And yeah, of course, that's pretty important when it comes to sales, especially if it's face to face. You can get great people with really great accents in Indonesia, Latin America, but there's always going to be that accent, right? It's really hard to not have that. And so if you want a more natural accent that matches the US a little bit better, then South Africa is where I would go. So depending on how many people you need for your sales team, get them from South Africa. If you need people that do more chat based or email, then of course you can go with any other country and save some money. But yeah, face to face, I would say South Africa really is good for that. Okay, let me erase this. So the next one I want to talk about is going to be operations, fulfillment. Okay, and for operations fulfillment, you really can't go wrong with any type of country. It really depends on what type of business you have. So I'm going to write Latam, Indo. You can also do South Africa. Europe also has some pretty great talent too. Philippines. Yeah, I guess this one, you can pretty much hire from wherever, and it really depends on what you need, right? So I would say talk to our team, see or tell us what type of company you have, what type of operations you need, what type of fulfillment you guys do, and we can sort of recommend what country you think is best based on a more custom or personalized level. And of course, there's going to be a bunch of different factors that we will consider to advise you on. But yeah, any of these countries should be good. And again, amazing people in the world, you guys. I don't think you guys realize how many smart, hardworking people there are in the world besides your own country, right? If you're in the US, you do not need to hire your team all in the US. Yeah, you should have some people in the US. I do believe in that. I also have people in the US too, but a lot of the ops fulfillment can be done overseas. And it's just going to make your business run more efficiently, less headache with payroll, benefits, all that stuff, and same level of fulfillment. I'm telling you guys, like the people that live overseas, they are really motivated. Plus, they're getting paid wages that are a lot higher than what they would earn if they worked for a local company. So they're really driven. They work very hard. And yeah, your ops, your fulfillment, it can completely be outsourced for a lot of you guys to overseas. Next, I want to talk about finance. And finance, I actually recommend hiring in the Philippines. Man, I don't even know how to spell Philippines. Okay. The reason why I think Philippines is a little bit better for this is because they are more well versed in a lot of these accounting softwares like QuickBooks. Uh, and I've just had better luck with people in the Philippines versus other countries like Indonesia or Latin America. My current head of finance is from the Philippines. She's doing really amazing. And she can do all my bookkeeping. She handles all invoicing, runs all the different types of reports, um, analysis of like money trends and stuff like that. Yeah, she can basically do everything, and she does this for multiple companies, ranging from S corps, C corps, um, like different types of businesses in different industries. So it's really really cool. You'll expect to pay, I would say, probably 1 to 2K per month for a really solid finance person that's based in the Philippines. And this is, yes, full time. They can handle your finances for multiple companies. You can also hire someone, of course, part time if you want for a little bit less than this. It really depends on your needs. Last one, I didn't mention this earlier, but I want to add this because I think it's important. Your executive team. Now, this one can get a little bit tricky, but I think a lot of people don't realize that, yes, you can have your executive team overseas. We have a really great executive team that's based in other countries. And yeah, they perform extremely well. For example, COO can definitely be overseas. Head of growth, CTO, like CMO. These positions, which most people think need to be local, do not need to be local. You can find amazing people who have Western educations, who, let's say, went to the States for college or university, went back to their country, have now 5, 10 years of experience. And you can hire these types of people for, I would say, 50 to 80% less than what you would pay for someone in the States, right? You can get really amazing people for, let's say, 3 to 5K per month. And you can hire from all these countries for your executive team. It really depends. We can help advise you guys on a more personalized call. But yeah, expect to pay between $3,000 to $5,000 for an absolute badass, someone that has years and years of experience building a company, running a company, whatever it is. And yeah, please, you guys, don't think that your executive team all need to be where you are, because if you think that, you're wasting a lot of money. And I think your team can run a lot more efficiently if you actually are open to the idea of having your executive team overseas. Now, in terms of communications, right? If you have a team that's spread out all over the world, of course, there's going to be different time zones. There's going to be different holiday schedules, whatever. Um, we like to run everything async. So what I mean by that is you don't really have that many meetings, like, and not everyone is working at the same time. So a lot of it is through messages, and our tech stack is basically ClickUp. That's our project management. We use Go High Level for a lot of stuff too. And then for communications, it's mostly done on Slack. So Slack is a really great platform for this. And yeah, you guys don't need to get everything done in meetings, in calls and stuff like that. A lot of it can be done async. In terms of how you can pay, many different ways you guys can pay. The great thing about hiring overseas is that they don't necessarily need to be considered employees. So it's a lot easier to hire people, right? Like the legal stuff is a lot less limiting. And essentially, you just need to have an independent contractor agreement. Um, you may want to have some type of other NDA or internal document that you want signed by them. But yeah, it's a lot easier than hiring locally because you get around that whole employee thing. How we pay is with a wide range of different platforms. We use a combination of Deal, which is pretty great. We use Payoneer, Wise, and PayPal. So those four are the main ways that we are paying our overseas contractors, and it works really well. They do all the currency exchanges, built in, so there's nothing that you really need to take care of. You just send USD and it goes to them in whatever currency that they want. So that was just building an entire overseas team with me. And hopefully this gave you guys some inspiration on how you can build your own overseas team. If you want help building your team, my company does this all day for hundreds of clients. We're really, really good at it. So I'll put a link down below if you guys are interested. It's a free strategy session. We'll do a little audit of your current team, see what positions you might be able to replace, what team members you can add, what countries you should hire from, what you should expect to pay for salaries. And yeah, most people find it extremely, extremely helpful. Plus, we have a 100% risk-free offer, meaning if you don't want to hire anyone that we send you, you don't pay anything. So completely risk-free, right? Cool. So yeah, hopefully you guys got some value from this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more business content like this, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.